1, 2, is this on? Yo, Jimmy, hit me with that Triple H.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with your favorite wrestling podcast featuring the Wenz and the Wrestling Encyclopedia, Vincent Kennedy Bucci. You know, most people get excited about Tiffy time. I'm excited about Desmond and Bucci time because Bucci is here. Desmond is just joining us from behind the backstage area. He's coming through the curtain right now. He's connecting his microphone right now. This is how, do not attempt this at home. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not easy to do. So without further ado, I welcome you to the male soap opera moment. Desmond in the wife beater, representing, getting in a workout. I like that in honor of wrestling season here. I do sense some backlash ahead, actually behind, but we're going to talk about it in the moments ahead. So what we're going to do is we're going to recap the matches. We're going to talk about who predicted who for what, and then get to how we're going to look as far as king and queen of the ring in the weeks ahead. So, Booch, let's get to it. Backlash Francais results. Can we all have one overall takeaway? I think this is something we should incorporate into the show moving forward. My biggest takeaway from the whole event, I'm also scoping out Desmond's refrigerator here, looking at his dietary choices. Very impressed with the food coloration. I like all the different colors in your fridge. It's very good. Good for the palate. Good for the stomach.
We do good. We got kids. We got to keep helping.
Yep. Yeah, I know all about the grocery bills. The greatest takeaway I had was that Lyon, France, was the greatest WWE audience I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. I don't know. You shake your head all you want. This is my experience. You can't steal my joy. You're not going to steal it. This crowd was about every single match. There was no restroom break. There was no break for any kind of French pastry, no cafe. You know, they were there. They were cheering. They were even getting live for Naomi. I mean, come on. Let's get real. That does not happen in the States. So I want to give Lyon, France their due. Granted, I will acknowledge that if the WWE was there every week like they're here in the States, it would probably not be the same result. But for the sake of those viewing and for the sake of those who saw this, can we agree that that place was lit and it fed to the energy of those of us watching at home?
To an extent. I like the energy to an extent. The problem I have is it felt more like they were worried about entertaining themselves and singing and ignoring everybody else. Like, it wasn't even just for Backlash. If you go back and watch SmackDown before Backlash, right? Cody's trying to cut a promo, and Cody, the face, is having to talk over the crowd because they're not listening. They'd rather sing and entertain themselves. That is disrespectful to what the wrestlers are doing, in my opinion. I am all for the energy in the match, for the cheering, for the screaming, and that's all great. But when it comes time to watch when the wrestlers that you are paying to see are doing their job and talking to you, then you need to let them fucking talk. Yeah. Every fucking promo was like a Dom Mysterio promo. You couldn't hear the fucking people talking.
Yeah, and this is going to be something that on the male soap opera moment is considered a rarity, but Desmond and I do this more often than you think. I'm in total agreement with what he just said. Yeah, exactly, because that was my issue. I said, France is a great place to wrestle. It is not a place they should be taping TV in the future. They should have kept the TV taping. They should have did what they normally do. Have a SmackDown air after that in the same place, tape the show, air it, and then go to France. Because, like, again, it was irritating because, and I can do this because it was the same thing that happened in the match. You literally have a bunch of people just going, hey, da, 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 like 1,500 times, and you can't hear shit that's going on. And not only disrespectful to the wrestlers, you can't sell a story doing that. And we've seen it happen multiple times in different places. Like, I go back to when Finn Balor and Seth Rollins were feuding, and Finn was cutting that promo on Seth about how you took you cost me my Universal title run because you injured me at SummerSlam and took that time off my life. And now Des and I have gone back and forth on that issue, but regardless, for the story's sake, Finn is kind of this most of the story. You just hear the fans going, oh, 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 and they're basically like, yeah, we don't give a fuck that you got hurt, Finn. So like it's not good for TV, but it is great for pay-per-views. And like I said, after a certain point, like Des said, it becomes more about them entertaining themselves and less about caring what's in the ring. So to an extent, it was great, but there is such a thing as overkill.
Well, we can agree to disagree. That's what we do best on the show, and that's what it's about. If this was a quorum, how boring would it be? I ask you, ladies and gentlemen. But real quick, we kind of buried the lead. We always start with the results. Obviously, Bucci is wearing the leather on his left shoulder. He's lost the other belt to a child, to a minor. We're not going to get into all how that happened, but who knows if he'll get it back ever. We do not know. One thing's for certain. He is going to lose that belt. And chances are he's going to lose it to yours truly coming up here at King and Queen of the Ring. But I digress. Right now, Bucci, let's recap the actual results now that we've kind of given our general consensus 10,000-foot view of the pay-per-view.
Yes. Well, obviously, ironically, we kicked off with the only match that was going to determine a champion. The only disagreement was Wenz, and that was, of course, the street fight with the Bloodline versus Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And
great match.
Wenz picked Kevin and Randy to win. So once the Bloodline emerged victorious, I pretty much was able to just sit back and enjoy the rest of my night, like the rest of my day. Like I went to Desmond and I agreed on everything. So when we came to his house, I didn't have to bring the belt. I just left it at home because it's like, well, if I lose this match, I have to mail it to Wenz or whatever.
I'd meet up. We'd do lunch or something. We could do that.
Yeah. I'm saying we'd have to do something to deliver to you. Yeah. I knew I wasn't losing to Des because we agreed on fucking everything. So I was just like, all right. And then once the Bloodline won, I could just sit back. Like, all right, I'm the champ. Let's just see how the show goes.
Yep.
Before we get into the show, I saw something that I want to hear you guys your take on. It's not confirmed yet, but apparently with the success and the popularity and how well the ratings were in the States for the earlier showings of these pay-per-views on Saturdays like it is, apparently WWE is considering moving the shows in the States to this earlier time slot for just for the pay-per-views. So that I like that concept. I feel like it's a good way, like for those of us who do watch parties and stuff, I feel like it's a good way for us we ain't got to be out of the house at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
We could get together in the middle of the day, watch the show, and then go home to our families at night and not have to wait until everybody's in bed to do it. And especially with me, with my kid, if he stays up watching a pay-per-view with me, he's up until midnight watching a pay-per-view with me instead of going to bed when he's supposed to go to bed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I really like the concept. As I said, it's not confirmed yet, but apparently they are in talks of going forward having an earlier time slot for the pay-per-views.
That would work.
Yeah, I'm all about it too. I like it just for the simple reason, like you said, it frees up more of your day. You're not dedicated to, a whole night of it. And I always end up falling asleep halfway through anyway. So whatever. I end up watching it, the next day or the days to follow or the day of the show that we record. So, here we are.
I only fall asleep if I had a particularly good time beforehand.
Well, I'm one of those people that wakes up like at super early in the morning, like 4:45, 5 a.m.
I say I'm 5:15. My alarm goes off for work every morning.
So yeah, it's like that. It bees like that. It bees like that. But no, I'm with it. I love that idea. If you disagree, if you're one of these people that says keep it late, I'm a night owl, comment on YouTube. Hit us up on the socials. Let us know what you think. Or if you're in agreement, tell us why. Also, tell us what your opinion is if Booch should hold the belt on his left or right shoulder. I personally think his trapezius on his right shoulder is a bit more swole. So we'll also open that up.
I'm a little frustrated because I bought us a belt that actually fits around his fucking waist and he won't wear it.
Yeah, what's up with that? Who are you? What's up with not wearing it around? That's a good point.
Well, I'm sitting down, so I want people to see it.
Well, you could stand up too. I mean, the champion usually is in the middle of the ring with the lights on. But you don't have to. I'm not trying to call you out. It's fine. You don't have to. But I'm just saying. Total count.
The Wenz had 4, Booch has 5, Desmond has 5. That's how I'm still the champion.
Unbelievable.
Tie goes to the champ.
Or who didn't.
Here's the thing. But Booch and I both went 5 for 5. There were 5 matches. We got all 5 of them correct.
Yes.
Congratulations. Although I will say, if there is a pay-per-view to nail it, it's Backlash. You know, Backlash is pretty much like a drunk monkey on roller skates. Well, I'm not as intelligent, obviously, as a drunk monkey on roller skates, but a sober drunk, a somewhat sober monkey on roller skates. This guy right here. That first match, I went for it. Sometimes you got to shoot for the stars, man. And I knew that you guys were going to stick with the bloodline. I had no idea that this Tonga Loa guy, did I get that right? Was going to come out and wreak the havoc that he did. What was it? Un, deux, almost trois for Kevin Owens. And then it all fell apart. Yeah, go ahead.
In all fairness, we didn't know that that Tonga was going to be there either. We thought it was going to be Jacob Fatu.
That's what we were expecting.
Another Samoan, whoever, another member of the family. Is endless.
Well, we knew Jacob Fatu had signed a WWE contract. We didn't know Tonga Loa did. So they kept that secret unless he's either on the cusp of his contract expiring or whatever. I don't know, but
on loan. I heard that WWE is more willing to work with other companies now that Vince isn't running it.
Well, that's true
Makes
too.
sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
Because because Vince was always big against that, but Triple H he likes to do it if it's for the right reasons. But AEW is the exception, though. They're not going to work with them, but they'll work with like New Japan and TNA and GCW.
I think if AEW would, if like Tony Khan would get his get his foot out of his mouth, and keep his hands off the Twitter, maybe they'd be willing to work with them. But AEW, like Tony, just keeps wanting to take shots and like, come on, like they're not even saying anything about you. They are basically ignoring your ass.
Yeah, they only talk about you if they come up and converse. Like if somebody's interviewing and asking about them, they address it, but they're not actively out there taking shots. Like Triple H was asked questions and he answered them.
And he answered them without being a dick to AEW.
Yeah.
At no point was he didn't criticize them at all. If you hear anything from a WWE guy, all they end up saying for the most part is competition's great for the business.
So, guys, next match, triple threat for the WWE Women's Championship. Bayley, we all knew she was going to win, right? Because I got this one right. We all got all of these right. So here we are. But let's talk a little bit about the match. Give me like 30 seconds of your best. Give me your biggest takeaway. My biggest one didn't even come during the match, besides Tiffy time being awesome. All the acrobatics outside the ring. Like, I'm like, I've never seen this stuff before. It's like video game level stuff. What I didn't like was all the cutesy stuff right by the ring post after the match between Naomi and Bayley. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with huggy. You just beat me. Now we're friends. Like, no, like there should not be. That's not okay. So I saw
they
it.
Were friends to begin with. They've shown them being friends consistently.
They're in a match against each other. You're not friends if they're in a match.
Friendly rivalry. That's called friendly rivalry.
My opinion. That's my takeaway. Go ahead.
Well, that was the thing. It was like, as Desmond was saying, it was a sportsmanship thing. Like, okay, you beat me. It wasn't like nobody cheated to win. Nobody took shortcuts. It was, hey, you got the best of me. Here you go. So that's what they're doing. They're saying, hey, I'm not going to turn on you or stab you in the back or freak out because you beat me 1, 2, 3 legitimately. So that's where it's coming from. But the issue, I will say, overall, this was a good match. There were a couple of spots that were stupid in nature. And I will say there was a lot of miscommunication in this match. Like Bayley and Naomi, especially. Like, this was a great moment for Tiffany Stratton, but Bayley and Naomi were miscommunicating stuff. There were moments where you could clearly hear them calling spots.
In fairness, it was in English, and it was in English, and the crowd had no idea what they were saying. So that's.
But we watching at home, we speak English and we can understand them. So.
That's why they need to turn off the mics on the cameras. Yeah, blame the
producers.
Blame me. Blame guys like me.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah, I didn't blame the producers. I'm just saying, like, it was, and also Michael Cole. I love that Bully Ray called him out on Twitter. He's like, "That's a double net breaker. No, that's a 3D. That was not."
They can't brand it like that.
Don't insult my finish like that. Like, he called it out. Bully Ray called him out straight up on Twitter.
Well, at
the very least, call it a fucking assisted cutter. I mean, because that's what it is.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, the match was, for the most part, it was all right. Like you said, there was some miscommunication, and I've been saying that since Naomi's return. Naomi has gotten sloppy. I'm just gonna say,
Amen.
Naomi has gotten sloppy. I liked her. She was good before she left.
Yes, and we got to move forward, but Booch, you and me and Des all agree. We are all Naomi fans. This is not coming from a place of shade. We've all rooted for her, right? This is coming from a place of like, hey, this could cause a serious problem because she is stiff, and that could cause an injury issue. And the women's roster needs everybody they got. We can't have this depleted roster situation. Where I'm coming from the top is I'm cool with sportsmanship, sportswomanship, whatever. But be less about it. Be like it shouldn't be smiles and hugs. It should be like a very like hesitant pound. Like, I'm not sure if I can trust you 100%. I want to be able to, but I don't want you to oversell it. I feel like they oversold it. Just my take.
I think they're both faces. They're both good guys. They were both friends to begin with. If it was two rivals that were not exactly friends, I would 100% agree with you. But
Bailey's not really a face, though. Bailey's not really a true face.
She is 100% face right now. 100% a face right now.
Since breaking away from Damage Control, she has become a face.
I still view her as more of a renegade independent like Gary Johnson. She's more of a libertarian to me. She's not a true Republican or Democrat. not true face or heel. She's in between. She's the outlier. All right, let's move forward. All politics aside, go Trump.
I have one thing. I have one more thing I want to say about it.
Yep.
I have one thing. I like the roll-up finish. I like that it was an actual wrestling move that ended the match.
That is a good insight. Yes, it should always be about something that simple. I mean, something that simple is profound in WWE nowadays. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
How something that simple is celebrated, you know? And we're like, I just want to acknowledge that they did it right, right? Who else did it right with the help of his true heel faction? Damian Priest defeating main event Jey Uso via pinfall with a lot of help. He had a lot of help. I love it, though. That's what he's supposed to have. That's what the heel has. World Heavyweight Champion, baby. And he's doing it the way he should do it. I like the match, but I want y'all's insights on it. We all had a feeling Priest was coming out on top, and he did.
Oh, yeah. It was too quickly. It was too soon for Damian to be losing the belt. Otherwise, it would make the paper championship even worse than it is. I love Damian Priest. I'm glad he's got the belt, and I'm hoping that this is the best run, and I'm seeing some stuff that's going to make it look like he's going to become a good face when he finally does break away from Judgment Day. And he did a couple of things on Raw that made me think that he's headed that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this, and it was a good match. It was a great match, and I like the tension being shown between Judgment Day. And Damian didn't get a clean win over Jey, so it doesn't completely crush Jey. It was all in all, it was good. It was a great match.
Amen. Booch, what say you?
I liked it because it had us on the edge of our seats. There were a lot of moments where it can go either way. Both guys worked very well together. Probably the only negative takeaway I have is that Jey Uso is still a little too super kick happy, and it's getting to the point where even fans that love Jey Uso and his entrance, they're now starting to pull back.
Mm-hmm.
So
good insight.
Jey wants to be a long-term singles guy and not get thrown right back with Jimmy, which is the direction I think he's about to go. He needs to update his moveset and cut back on the super kicks, because if he keeps overdoing them, the balloon's going to come off the rose. I mean, right now it's not, because clearly from the entrance standpoint, he's got it. Everyone loves Jey Uso until they ring the bell. And that was a common thread going through the Twitter space while I was posting results and tweeting with people. So I really hope Jey cuts it back.
So I'm going to ask both of you a quick question, 2-sentence answer. Do you feel like the super kick is his moveset, or do you feel like that's his crutch? Like, as a speaker, I'll say something like, absolutely, that's my lean back word that I lean on until I think of the next thing to say, or something like that. Do you feel like his moveset for his professional career is that super kick? Because maybe his moveset in that moment is limited against his certain opponent. Or is he not unleashing everything under the directive of the creative team? Or is it a mix of both, or something else in your opinion?
I will say this. I like his super kick. He does a good job of it. I like the way he fully steps into it and throws that kick. It looks like it actually hurts. I think the big problem I have is a lot like what Vinny said. He does use it too much. I would love for him to use it more as a signature move, because he has a pretty super kick.
Did you guys get a count on the amount of super kicks in Lyon?
I didn't go for a count. I was just too busy going because like I said, the match was edge of your seat. So this was something I'm noticing in the midst of the entire match.
Got it.
So there were too many false finishes and too many moments of, oh shit, Jey might win this for me to really count it. I have to go back and watch it again to do a count.
But enough to notice, right? Enough for it to become a topic on the show. All right. Fair enough. All right. I want to challenge the Wentz Worldians, all 43 of you. What do you think? I mean, I'm for, well, one of them's me. I subscribe. Because, hey, if you don't like your own content, who is? You got to believe in yourself, darn it. I'm here. I believe in it. But for real, like, if you feel like the super kick is his best move, it's his best shot, it's what he represents, or do you think maybe like he's not giving it his all? What's your take on it? What's he holding back? Or do you feel like creative is telling him to stay with the super kick? I'd love your opinion, but we got to move forward here. I think this next match was truly a nail biter. We all kind of had an idea of who we thought was going to win, but take that away. Let's all pretend that we didn't understand the storyline. If we were watching this from a place of, I have no idea what's going on in WWE, we could have thought that the Kabuki Warriors would have beaten Bianca and Jade. It was a last minute swapperini, and it was beautiful. It was like everything a championship match should be. That's my take, but I'd love to hear y'all's take.
I feel like the only reason the Kabuki Warriors had any kind of edge was because of the experience factor. They have been working as a tag team together for a long time. Beyond that, Jade and Bianca have such a size advantage over the Kabuki Warriors that it on paper, it looks like a mismatch. Now, looking at skill level and stuff like that, once again, I'm all for the Kabuki Warriors. I love Asuka. I love Kairi Sane. They are a great tag team. They work well together, and they put on a great match. But on paper, if you're just looking at the size and the power and everything between the two teams, it looks like a mismatch.
Definitely does. Booch, what are your thoughts?
I enjoyed the match. I thought it was they timed it really well in a lot of ways. For example, like the way Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill carried themselves, they carried themselves like a tag team, which is what I liked about it. They dressed the same. They had double team moves. They had double team poses. They acted the way a tag team should, which is what you want and what we should expect, especially since, like you said, we knew they were going over. So I'm like, if they're going to go over, though, let's make sure they're going to be an actual team when they hold these belts and not look like two random people thrown together, even though technically they are. On paper, they're thrown together. But the way they wrestled, you wouldn't think that. And it was done in such a way. Bianca Belair has more of the work rate, and Jade's the powerhouse. And when you have a team like that, you have the person with the work rate go in there, do all the wrestling, do all the moves. Then you tag in the big person to come in and power bomb and slam and take out everybody. And Des and I both pay close attention to the finish. And here's where Jade is showing that despite the fact she's only have a couple years in the business because AEW pushed her while she was a rookie, you can tell she has good ring awareness and knowledge. Because when she hit her finisher, the second she hit it, she gets out of the ring. Because she knows, I don't pin anybody, I'm not legal. We then see Bianca Belair hit the KOD with Asuka onto Kairi Sane. And Bianca, the veteran in the ring, botches the finish and pins the wrong woman.
Now, I will say this. You can blame Bianca for that. But Bianca, in all fairness, in all chaos, in the ring, it's hard to tell who made a tag when and where. Yeah. The referee botched that finish. The referee should know who is legal at all times. Asuka wasn't legal.
Okay. Are you telling me, did I miss this? Are you telling me that the wrong person got pinned?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing I noticed, that's really messed up. I can't believe WWE Twitter didn't explode. Did they explode?
No.
Most people apparently didn't notice it.
I had no idea. I saw it. I was like, wait a minute.
Caught it.
Okay, that's great. We're gonna highlight that on the show. I want y'all to wait. If you notice that, please comment. You can lie to us. Just tell us you did. That's fine too. I don't care. So what I want to know though, did y'all also notice that when the pin happened, the person who wasn't being pinned rolled away from the pin instead of rolling toward it to break it up? Did y'all notice that?
I did, but she also just got hit with a move. Like she hit the KOD on top of her. She got hurt. She's rolling away out of like, oh shit. It wasn't a conscious thing.
I kind of feel like stay there. I kind of feel like stay where you are if you're that hurt, like you can't move. Because rolling away, like rolling toward it and being like,
she wasn't out cold.
Oh.
She was in pain. She wasn't out cold.
But wouldn't a simple go ahead.
Yeah, landed. It was chest. It was belly on belly. So even if you get hit in the stomach, you're gonna double over and move a little bit if you're laying down. It's gonna be like and then kind of roll. Like that's a natural way to move when you hit the stomach.
Right.
So it makes sense. Like, and we know that, and we've known this just from play wrestling with his son, my nephew. When he does that leg drop, we move, we shift. It hurts like hell.
The Hogan leg drop. I love it. All right. So we all got that one right. We've all gotten everyone right, except for my home run swing on the first match, which I didn't get right.
I will say this, though.
Yes.
With Asuka being injured now, we're not going to see that storyline where they call out the wrong pin. So it's just going to have to go that way. Asuka's gone. Asuka's gone for we don't know how long, an undisclosed amount of time.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that. Is that public information?
Yes,
I'm hearing it.
I don't believe they mentioned it on.
I looked at the website. I didn't see it on the website at all.
Yeah, but Asuka put a post on Twitter about how she about thanking her damage control partners and everything, and she's gonna be gone for a while.
Wow. All right. Well, hopefully she'll be back by the time Cody Rhodes has a real, actual, legitimate person to defend against. Because honestly, we all knew that he was going to beat AJ Styles. Longest match of the night, 27 minutes plus. Great match for what it's worth, right? We all know AJ Styles can put down with the rest of them. He can hold his own. He carries the show. Booch, I want your thoughts on this, because how do you feel the match went despite everybody and their mama knowing that Cody Rhodes was winning this match?
It was stellar because both these guys are phenomenal workers. AJ Styles is one of the best in-ring workers on the planet right now. Cody Rhodes can hold his own. It's a proud moment for all of us because these are two Georgia boys in the main event. Because you got Cody from Marietta, you got AJ from Gainesville.
Yep.
You know, so this is a great moment. And also, it was like going back to the crowd going crazy to the point where the cameras are shaking because the crowd is so loud and jumping up and down. And I will say this, though. I've heard a lot of fans bitching about this, and I'm going to put this question out to everybody. In all the time we've seen AJ Styles in a wrestling match, can anyone name a time he pinned someone 1, 2, 3 with a burning hammer? Can you name a time?
Well, can anybody name a time where one finisher finishes somebody in the last 10 years?
No, I get it, but
Yeah. Oh, actually, yes.
Who?
I mean, let's be real here. The Fiend hit many a fucking Sister Abigail to end matches.
One time.
Yes.
Multiple times. Legitimately, the only person that kicked out of a Sister Abigail during the Fiend run was Seth Rollins.
Fair point. Besides him.
Okay, but my point is this.
And anytime Baron Corbin was in the ring, because he never let anybody kick out of his end of days.
Yeah. I think maybe one person did.
Point negated. Go ahead.
The point I'm trying to make is this. The burning hammer was never used to put anyone away. So for Cody to kick out of that at 1 doesn't hurt him. Now, if that was a phenomenal forearm or a Styles clash, okay, we can have an argument there. But no, that move does not put anyone away.
In all fairness, when's the last time you've seen him actually hit the move? Period. That is a move that should not be treated as anything less than at least a signature. It's not so much AJ Styles did it. It doesn't matter who did it. That's just like a pile driver. You don't kick out at 1.
I can see that. I'm just saying, I get it, but I'm saying the point is it's not a finisher, so I don't think it's something to go ballistic over. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's not.
I'm going to disagree because to me, that's what's wrong with Japanese strong style is this bullshit kicking out of big ass fucking moves like they didn't hurt.
Cody Rhodes, he beat AJ Styles. Final takeaways on this match and before our sign off. 10 seconds. Go ahead. Des, you.
It was a great pay-per-view, and I didn't get a single one wrong. So, I mean...
You're not wrong. Booch, congratulations on still being the reigning, undisputed male soap opera moment champion. And until next time, we will never, ever leave you without a couple +1 key catchphrases, one of which is, have a nice day.
Bang, bang.
In this case, fear the Reaper.
Did you say Reefer or Reaper?
Reaper. The card is Reaper King. It's a scarecrow card.
Because we all know Snoop Dogg's the Reefer King. By the way, if you haven't followed Snoop Dogg on LinkedIn, follow Snoop Dogg on LinkedIn. He's on the platform now. All right, guys.
I don't even have LinkedIn.
You should get on there. By the way, he's a good follow. He has great content. All right, him and John Kraski too. Follow John Kraski, not John Krasinski from The Office. John Kraski. Let me be very clear. Have a great day, guys. Yeah, John. Hey, cheers. Cheers to John Kraski. Here we go. Boop. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Later.